Hello everyone and welcome. This is Lisa. Thank you for joining me today. Today I would like to share with you the new Bouquet Blooms and Gatefold Blossoms framelits dies. They make a gatefold card, and this is the card that we're going to be making today. It is a lot of fun to do and it is super easy, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do. Isn't that cute? Okay, so on page 167, this is the stamp set, and it perfectly coordinates with the framelits dies, and also that big circle works with the layering circles dies. And this is the die set that is part of the bundle, and you want to get the bundle, trust me, you save 10%, but this is what makes the actual gatefold card, so you're going to want both. Okay, so these pieces right here are going to make the ends where they interlock. So this is a piece of cardstock that's Night of Navy. It is 9 inches by 5 inches. And we're also going to have a piece of Whisper White that is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. This is the piece that's going to go inside. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my magnetic platform and a clear cutting pad, a well-loved one at that. And I'm going to place my cardstock down, and I'm going to show you here that the cardstock is longer than the platform, so you can only cut one of these ends at a time. But that's no big deal. It's easy to do, and it just takes a sec anyways. So here's how you line it up. You take that top edge and that side edge. You want to put the side edge directly up all the way next to the end of the cardstock, and then you want the top edge all the way to the top. And then you want to make sure that that cutting edge that I'm showing you here goes all the way across. So even though my magnetic platform does a good job, I just am securing it with some craft tape, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot, and here we go. So this is the leaf side. Isn't that pretty? And that was easy to do. You just had to line up two things and throw it through your Big Shot. It was super easy. So what I'm going to show you here is, if I can find it, this little tick mark right here. Now this is going to be important in a few minutes because that is what we're going to use as our guide to score. So we're going to flip the cardstock around, and then we're going to do the exact same thing only with the flower die. So we're going to take the left side there, and we're going to line it up with the edge of the cardstock, and then we're going to take the top and line that up with the top of the cardstock. And again, I'm just going to use a little bit of craft foam to secure, or craft foam, where did that come from? Craft tape to secure it down. Sometimes my platform has a little mind of its own. It wants to move things around. So at this point, I definitely don't want to mess it up. So I'm putting a clear cutting pad on top of that. And then I'm going to run that right through the Big Shot. And we're back. And there's our flower. That was super easy, right? Okay, next I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer. After I show you, you can see where those tick marks are. There's one there, and then there's one on the other side as well. And even though that sort of indents your cardstock, it doesn't really affect the way your card looks. So it's really not that big of a problem. So make sure that you're using your light gray scoring, not your cutting blade. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that little tick mark and I'm lining it up right in the center of the cutting tray or the cutting groove. And I'm scoring that really well. And then I'm just making sure that I can see where the other one is. sliding it down, doing the same thing, lining that up right in the track, and I'm going to score. Okay, so we're all done with that. Now before you burnish your edges, you want to just fold in the pieces where you've scored, just to be sure that they're going to interlock correctly. Now there is a way to make sure that there isn't a gap there, and it is on the Stampin' Up! Website, and I will link to that video on how to fix that. But I kind of like the gap, so I just leave it. So once I have it figured out and make sure that everything works, I'm going to go ahead and burnish the edges. And this is what we have. See, I'm showing you the little gap, but that's okay because the inside is going to be white and it's all going to match, and it kind of shows off the fact that it's a gatefold. So I have a couple of pieces left here, and I'm just punching those out. Awkward silence. Okay, next you're going to need some scrap paper and Whisper White to stamp your flowers and such on. But through the magic of television, YouTube, I have already done this just to save time. And the way I did those yellow flowers is I stamped them and then I pulled the color in with my Stampin' Blends. Okay, so that round piece, all I did was I put it on there, measured where I wanted it to stop, drew a pencil line, and then cut it off. So I'm using some snail adhesive to attach this. And I'm putting it with the leaves tucked in and the flower on the outside, just so that I can get that lined up correctly, because you want to put that on the very edge. And I did use the layering circles framelits to cut this piece out. Okay, and as you can see, it works just fine. Now in the stamp set, this is what I mean by they all coordinate. This flower fits perfectly right on top of our die cut part. My Night of Navy ink pad was dry, so I re-inked it and it got a little carried away, but that's okay. I think it looks fine. So I'm just going to add my flowers on. I'm going to pop this up with a dimensional. The only thing you want to be careful of when you're adding your stuff is to be sure that you don't impede those leaves or the flower so that your card won't open. Okay, now that I have everything on there, on the first card I made, I used the larger pearls, and I wasn't really sure that I liked that. So I thought that I would try using smaller ones. And I've come in with my dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend, and all I've done is just colored the pearls. And so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere those to the center of that big blue flower. And now I have them on. By the way, those small flowers in the wreath looking part, I adhered those with glue dots. Okay, now I'm using the smallest of the pearls and I'm adding those to the yellow flowers. And I'm putting 3 of them on each. Okay, I've brought in some craft ink, and I'm going to stamp Friend, but I can't see what I'm doing, so I had to pull it close to me for just a second. And there we go. So I just stamped Friend in the white craft ink. And of course, no job is complete without some Wink of Stella. So I'm applying that to the little flowers as well as the big flower. And in the video, it looks really weird, like super shiny, like something's wrong. But in real life, it doesn't look that way. So I don't know what it is, the light reflecting or what the deal is, but it looks funny, but that's not how it really looks. So now I'm just stamping the inside. So it says friend on the outside, and then it says you're the best on the inside. And I'm just adhering this to the inside. And I have the dropsies today. Okay, and there's our card. Super fun. Wasn't that easy? And here's the other one. They compare the sides. I don't know which one of those pearls, the bigger ones or the little ones. I think I like the bigger ones actually. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Tell me which one you like. So again, thanks for joining me. I hope you give this a try. And until next time, happy crafting.